shed a tear for the dearly deported. Some far-left Dems are pushing to end targeted deportations of criminal illegal immigrants, including suspected gang members like those from MS-13 who've been tied to brutal killings across the country, which I guess would make those felons anchor criminals. New York Congressman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, that's funny, said this country is at a, quote, racial reckoning. I mispronounced her name. That's funny. As she joins 34 Democrats in demanding an immigration overhaul, including pulling back on targeting gang members for deportations. She's right. These undocumented felons are just coming here to commit felonies that Americans won't do themselves. AOC writes, quote, the definition of an aggravated felony is a relic of the racist war on drugs. Adding, the memorandum invites racial profiling by presuming that an immigrant is a public safety enforcement and removal priority if they've been convicted of an offense in which an element was active participation in a gang or someone older than 16 who intentionally participated in a gang. Gotta take a breath. The memorandum she's criticizing says that we should prioritize the deportation of convicted criminals who are also gang members. So where's the racist part? Was the guy who wrote the memo wearing blackface at the time? I must have missed it. Keep in mind, these gang members mostly prey on other Central American immigrants, with crimes including murder and child prostitution. We're not talking about mixing recyclables or misgendering a cashier. These are bad people doing bad things. So in AOC's world, we can't put these felons in prison, and we also can't deport them. So what should we do with them? Give them their own shows on CNN? I hear they're hiring. So, Matt, it always feels like the far left, like they hate American citizens more than they hate illegal immigrant criminals. And they would, I mean, if you can't put them in jail, what do you do with them? I mean,
and this is the only category that really you can currently deport. If you think about the Biden administration, I mean, they've reversed every policy, and this is kind of the last thing that we all agree on.
Yes, yes.
Getting rid of violent gang members that are here illegally. If that, you know, I've often said that the two parties appear to be tacking towards different goals currently, which is the first time in our nation's history. And I think that's where this is the example of it, because this would be a blanket amnesty. And meanwhile, the southern border is just pouring in, and you don't think there's people that want to do bad things. This is, you know, that's very Pollyanna-ish.
It is. It is. I wish I knew what that meant, Pollyanna. I always see it, but
I barely got it out. So.
I know. I always hear people say that, and I said naive. It means naive, Tyrus. I think that's what it means.
Very good, Greg.
Thank
very proud of you. Yay.
You know what?
Yay.
That said a very interesting thing about like how the parties are going this way. It almost feels like we are kind of entering this phase of two different countries. Like there's one that is like, okay, fine, these states will deal with their immigration a different way than these states. There's no solution.
Well, it's the states that are furthest away from where the problem is that have all the great ideas. I couldn't agree more with AOC on this one. I think this is a great idea. I think we should get Sally Struthers and do a little infomercial. You know, for just 6 cents a day, you can adopt a gang member, bring him to your home, like take one shot here or see me no more. He's 3 teardrops away from being a new soldier. You could bring him, we could fly him into your neighborhood. He could, you know, he could stay with you for just 6 cents a day and your youngest daughter.
There you go. Put up those bunk beds.
My point is, if you brought them to their doorstep or their town, this would not be the thing. They'd be like, they've got to go, we've got to do something. We need the National Guard, we need more police department, we got to do something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's always fun for when you're safe in New York talking about what you need to do in Arizona and California. It's amazing.
It's two different countries, Kat. I think we're headed towards a bifurcation, a word I had to look up today.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
I don't know, splitting. I don't even know what
so it means splitting. Okay, great. Well, I don't know, because my views on immigration, right, have always been, you know, any nonviolent person who wants to come contribute to our economy should be able to do so. because I don't, and contributing to the economy is key because I don't believe in a welfare state, period. And that's always where people on the left have, disagreed with me there.
Yeah.
And now apparently they're also going to disagree with me on the violent part, which is really, truly shocking. It's not you. I'm okay with discriminating against violent people.
Yes.
I don't like people who commit violent crimes. I also thought it was interesting because years ago when I was doing stand-up, there was a guy who I did stand-up with. He was on some of the same shows as me. He got caught with cocaine and he got deported.
Right.
But he was a white guy who got deported back to London. So what would she call that an injustice too, or no?
I don't know. You lost your connection.
Yeah.
Damn. Damn, Greg.
Matt, that's not true. She does not do drugs. She does not do drugs at all, at least right now while we're on set. Afterwards, it's another story. All hell breaks loose. She'll do it off Dr. Drew's head.
I just...
Mine's probably better, though.
it would work better off that.
First thing I thought of when I saw you.
There's so many things that are happening in this country right now. I don't understand where they're going. I just think of the homeless thing in Los Angeles. I was asking someone who was defending. I said, "What if they show up on my lawn?" Or they're like, "Well, that's where we go." What if they go into my son's bedroom? Yeah, well.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't understand what the logic is. There seems to be no logic, no where we're going with this. And that's the part I find most distressing because it just keeps, it's never enough. There's just beef constantly. I have a beef, I have a beef, I have a beef.
Right.
But what are we trying to do?
If I may, I'm not an epidemiologist or nothing, but I think it's my previous point. They're not affected, so they're talking from thousands of miles away
Is that
on
it?
stuff that has nothing to do with them, because if they were in the mix, they would not be saying that. She'd be the first one calling, there's gang members outside my house, not there's new Americans here with shotguns and blades. It's going to be great. Oh, I have to go.
Yeah. And by the way, if you make that phone call, you're racist. This idea of moving, now everything in which you are concerned about in life becomes racist. You can no longer protect yourself because that itself is racist.
It's just confusing.
Yeah,
I want to get it right, but I'm confused.
How dare you discriminate against a gangbanger, Dr. Drew?
I'll just be that racist guy with no crime in my front yard. I'll just be that.
Yes.
I'll take the heat.
Yes, exactly. The trade-off is far superior. All right, we got to move on. Up next, a guy who was relieved of command for his anti-Marxist stand.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.